The Maryland Department of Health, Developmental Disabilities Administration, Self-Directed Services Training Series, Module 10, Employee Overview and Timesheets, updated October 2024. This training module will provide you with an overview of employees and timesheets. This training is a summary with important information on this topic. More information and requirements are found in the Medicaid Waiver Program applications, laws, regulations, guidance, and policies. The most updated information regarding self-directed services is published in the Self-Directed Services Policy and Manual that can be found on the DDA's website. Anyone paid to provide a Medicaid waiver service, including participants' employees, are considered Medicaid providers, subject to all laws and regulations associated with being a Medicaid provider. In order to be cleared for work by the financial management and counseling services provider and receive payment for services, all employees of participants who self-direct must meet all qualification requirements as listed in the approved Medicaid waiver program. The financial management and counseling services provider cannot pay for services rendered by an employee who does not meet the employee requirements. Criminal background checks are required for any employee who works for someone who self-directs. The financial management and counseling services provider runs and pays for the initial criminal background check for all employees. Subsequent and regular criminal background checks can be run at the participant's discretion with their self-directed services budget cost savings. Financial management and counseling services providers must share the results of background checks with other financial management and counseling services providers should a participant choose to switch financial management and counseling services providers. DDA-operated Medicaid waiver programs allow for two types of criminal background checks. A Maryland state-only criminal background check via fingerprinting with the Maryland Department of Public Safety's Criminal Justice Information System, or a national criminal background check through a private agency with whom the financial management and counseling services provider contracts. The criminal background check must include court or other records in each state in which the participant's employer knows or has reason to know the eligible employee or contractor worked or resided during the past 7 years. The type of background check is determined by the participant as the employer. Employees working for a participant under the age of 18 must have a Child Protective Services background check completed. The financial management and counseling services provider must give instructions to employers and employees on how to complete the Child Protective Services background checks. If participants' families or employees incur costs related to initial Child Protective Services background check, the financial management and counseling services provider must provide reimbursement. The financial management and counseling services provider must provide resources for free notarization of any documents, and the financial management and counseling services provider may provide complimentary notary services. Required Child Protective Services background checks must be completed and received by the financial management and counseling services provider in order for employees to be cleared for work. Participants may choose to complete additional Child Protective Services background checks after the first check using authorized funds. The financial management and counseling services provider will notify the participant if an employee's Child Protective Services check may preclude them from providing services. In order to be cleared for work by the financial management and counseling services provider and receive payment for services, all employees who work directly with the participant must meet a qualification requirements as listed in the DDA-operated All employees who work directly with the participant must meet all qualification requirements as listed in the DDA-operated Medicaid waiver program. First aid and cardiopulmonary resuscitation (CPR) training and certification are required for any employee who works for someone who self-directs. Training must be completed in person or through a hybrid model that includes an in-person component to the training. Online-only training does not meet the training requirements. Employees cannot be paid if a certification expires or ends. Based on the service provided, additional training may be required as applicable in the federally approved Medicaid waiver program. The participant may require any other training as desired that is related to the participant's specific medical, behavioral, communication, or cultural needs. Timesheet requirements. All employees providing services, including support broker employees, must maintain documentation and records regarding delivery of service in accordance with applicable Medicaid waiver program requirements, laws, regulations, policies, and guidance. Employees must submit their timesheet every 2 weeks using the participant's financial management and counseling services provider payroll calendar. The participant, with the support of their team, if needed, must approve all timesheets before they are paid by the financial management and counseling services provider. To be paid, employee timesheets must include the dates the services were provided, the start and end times of each shift, and the tasks completed by the employee during their shift. It is important to note that the electronic payroll system of each financial management and counseling services provider will record the total time worked by quarter hour. In 2025, a list of tasks completed by the employee during their shift will be required in order for the timesheet to be accepted and processed. To support capturing services provided, employees will be able to choose from a task checklist published by the applicable financial management and counseling services provider's timesheet application. Refer to the Self-Directed Services Manual for the requirement effective date. Timesheets must be approved exclusively by the participant or their designated representative, noted in the participant agreement, not by any employee or vendor, including support brokers, and submitted as per the applicable financial management and counseling services providers' policy and practices. This slide includes a list of resources. Summary. All employees must meet the requirements of waiver services they provide in order to be paid, including an initial background check, a child protected services check if working for a minor, and all training requirements. Initial background and child protective services checks for employees are paid by the financial management and counseling services provider. Timesheets must meet all requirements, including descriptions of the services provided on each shift. In 2025, a list of tasks completed by the employee during their shift will be required in order for the timesheet to be accepted and processed. Timesheets must be approved by the participant in order to be paid. This ends Module 10.